Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is a continuation of our discussion before. Now, the stage is a little bit shortened, and we will not be anti-Jonathan. We will try as much as possible to look for the positive side of that, and I think Ms. Rosemary, who originally campaigned for Mr. Jonathan, can help me out on this, and probably Mrs. Wusu, whose husband is one of the movers and shakers of PDP, but she's not been very, very kind of the Jonathan-led government. Maybe she can tell me one good thing about this Jonathan government, because I personally, and I might be biased because I never really supported him, I personally have not seen anything. If there's something, maybe both of them can tell me.
We are not being anti-Jonathan for real. I think it's just gotten to the point, like I said before, we used to be very passive, and whatever you throw at us as Nigerians, we just accept and keep it going and keep praying to God. But we've gotten to the point now where we're putting our voices out there. We're letting because the world is watching us, and like you all know, the world has now become like a global village. We saw what happened in Libya. We all witnessed what happened in Egypt. We're not praying for such stuff to happen in Nigeria, but whatever we can do, or whatever ways that we can mobilize ourselves and let this man know that we don't like what's going on in our country, and if he's not going to be able to do the work that he was elected to do, then I guess it's time for him to step aside and let whoever wants to rule our country do that.
My problem with Mr. Jonathan again is the fact that the security of that country is in shambles.
It is, totally.
How are they gathering intelligence? What are the intelligence reports that they're gathering? How are they doing it? The security of your country is in ruin, and the security officers are still keeping their jobs. Boko Haram is killing everybody, and the security people have not been fired. In one of the Latin countries, the whole police was sacked. They were sacked. They were fired from their job. The naval and the military are taking over their job,
right? Because
of drug problem and because of corruption. Those are the presidents that you think have the guts to do certain things. Mrs. Wusu, help me out. Do you think because like I said, I've not seen anything that this president has done right?
Personally, because I live in America, I am not I am not in Nigeria.
You are not involved day to day?
No, I don't live there. I cannot say that I see it. But from what my people are saying, I have not seen anything that the president has done in Nigeria that I can pick up on. So, to me, it's just been redundant. It's there taking decisions from his people that best suits the cabinet that they're together, but not the masses, because the masses are suffering. And the one single thing that's making them happy that they can even try to kind of survive on is been taken away from them. That petrol subsidy that was with so much enormous increase is a big problem, because it's affecting everything. It's affecting food, transportation, cost of running the generator on. And I mean, everybody that's been going to Nigeria, when you see that the light is out, it's like there's no life. It's like life is gone. So if you can, I mean, put this up, take this fuel subsidy, but give us something else back, maybe we'll be happy. At least the light.
Absolutely.
Light.
Absolutely. Let me add to what she just said. You know, our economy in Nigeria is tied to petroleum, and like she rightly said, if you're going to take that away from us, give us something back. And it's really, because you look at it this way, it affects everyone. It is affecting us in Nigeria, I mean in America, I'm sorry, because Nigeria is the second or third oil suppliers to the United States.
Yes.
So every time we have problems with oil in Nigeria, we get in the brunt here, because if you've been paying attention to the news, gas prices here have been going up.
Yep.
So those are some of the issues that we're looking at, and we're saying to them, we're not saying, okay, don't take this oil subsidy removal, or don't take it out if you want to, if that's what you feel that is going to help you get enough money to help us out. But what have you done in the past? You've lied to us in the past, and why should I really believe you now? So if you're going to do that, what are you giving us? And how are you feeling it?
Nigerians in diaspora, a lot of us are the co-sponsor of our family back home in Nigeria. If anything happens, they're calling us here. Right. And here, it's not even conducive too. There's a lot of economic problem going on, not just in America, even in England. And there's a lot of Nigerians living there that are supporting their family members back home. So everything that goes on in Nigeria affects us directly, I would say. I would not even say indirectly. Because we're feeding them, we're giving them money to fill their cards, we're giving them money to clothe, we're giving them money for health care. And when you increase these things, everything, the prices of everything goes up. And they're expecting us to fill in that gap. I haven't got any increase in my paycheck so far.
Hold on to that thought, Mrs. Wusu. That reminds me, I got a call from a very important personality a few days ago. He called me and I did not pick up my phone, so he sent me an email. I returned his call. He is one of the fearless men I've ever known. He is a pastor, and somebody can ask me why I radiate towards pastors. And don't get me wrong, I do criticize pastors. I've criticized the winners pastor. I've criticized the pastors that will not join the masses to protest the adverse effect of the removal of the subsidy. But this pastor called me. He said that he has lived in he has worked in Saudi Arabia for years. He lived in this country, he's a citizen of this country, but he goes to Nigeria all the time. Now he's retired. He's a full-time preacher. He preached on the radio throughout throughout Nigeria. Let me just put it that way. So he called and told me that he has been back home for the past 12 months now or so. That he thinks that we should stop sending money home. I was shocked. I said, sir, what will be your reason? Because things are not very good at home. He said, you know that this is not me. But having lived there for 12 months, I think that people that are sending money home were the reason the Nigerians are not asking for their rights. Because when my little brother needs something, if he cannot get it, I'll dig into my pocket and send him some money.
Right.
When my little sister is in need of something, I'll dig into my pocket and send him some money. When is my little brother going to fight for his right in Nigeria if he keeps on getting dollar through Western Union from me?
That's a big word.
It is.
He said that is what he had seen in Nigeria of today. When those people cannot get free beef from people in the diaspora anymore, they will stand up for their rights.
Absolutely.
We've seen a microscope of that during the oil subsidy removal. Even if it's for only 2, 3, 4, 5 days. We've seen that now. We've seen that pressure can work.
That's true.
And I started thinking, how would my little brother ask me for something and I would not give? But the point is, I'm not even getting here too. I used to be able to give a lot before. I cannot give anything again.
Because things are very, very, very tough.
Things are very economic crunches all over the world. Europe is crying. America is crying. Nigeria is crying. And when people are cutting services here, and when leaders are cutting their own wages here, Nigerian leaders are still junketing the world, wasting scarce resources.
Right.
They will still want to steal the same way they've stole before. Omoyele Sowore has to single-handedly shut a minister down in New York.
Big up to him.
Because they came in to do all this town hall nonsense with their cronies. The cronies have arranged that. They've arranged who to talk to and how to talk and stuff like that.
To me, they are not paying correct taxes in Nigeria. If they are paying correct taxes in Nigeria, if they are really taxing the people that they are rich people in Nigeria, maybe that one will stop all the nonsense they are doing. I didn't say that you don't have money. Let them have that money and let's see how
let them pay taxes.
Pay taxes on that money. That one will be helping Nigerians. Because
okay, Mr. Taiwo, question for you.
They're paying taxes to themselves.
I was about to say that question for you. When you are a billionaire and some billionaire friend push you there, wouldn't you take care of the billionaire friends that push you there?
Okay, in America here,
America is not Nigeria.
No, I'm just saying in America here, somebody, have some money over here, do something for, what do you call it? That's a program he went to go and do, and he went to pay the taxes of America. That guy went to jail. The same thing is supposed to happen in Nigeria. Honesty people paying taxes. And that's the only way we can help the poor people in Nigeria. By doing this, we're helping each other.
Okay.
Can I come in? Because I mean, it makes me look. It make to me now. From what he's saying is like, let the rich people pay tax, and then it makes it look like maybe because they're not paying tax, that's why things are not going right. Then it goes down to the fact that maybe there's no resources. That's why Nigeria is not doing better. No. There's resources in Nigeria. It is the management. Even if they pay tax and they claim that they pay tax, they're still paying it to themselves. Because they're the ones that are going to manage all this money. And are they going to be doing the right thing with it?
Even if we have the money. The problem is not having no money. No, we have the money. But it's just circulating within
Around,
few people.
Yeah.
And we don't have a populist program. There's no program for the people. Okay, here you pay taxes, right?
And we see where
your taxes are going.
Taxes, yes.
When you pay tax, you see where your the dividends of your tax.
Yes.
In Nigeria, the Lagos State Governor, Fashola, has been taxing people from head to toe. He's been killing Lagosian with taxes. But they were giving him the benefit of the doubt because they were seeing flashes of what their tax money were doing. That is why they are not up in arm against Fashola. And Fashola stretched his luck a few months ago when he said people in Ajah should start paying tolls.
With bad roads?
Okay. No, I think he constructed a road.
He did fix a lot of roads.
But this is my gross with even that one. If the government here wants you to pay toll on a road, they'll give you another road, or they'll give you an alternate road for people who cannot afford
to do
yes.
that.
Yes. Mr. Fashola has not done that. He has not done that. And there are rumor that the road was constructed. Let me get the word right. The roads were constructed by Mr. Tinubu's
Construction company.
And the toll on the road belongs to
where is this in Lagos?
Ajah area.
Like towards Lekki, going towards Lekki area.
So the Ajah Lekki axis, well, we can say that he is taxing the rich, but people are working there. People who go, they don't know Ajah area. So we can say that although they are taxing motorists, and I don't have it. No. The point is, if you are taxing motorists and somebody has to pass it on the other people.
Transporters will pass that on, and they will pass it on to you and I that don't have cars, but you were taking the buses, they're going to pass it on. They pass it on.
And what about poor people who live in Ajah? When they have to pay an average of 500 naira a day.
And you're passing there more than 3 times a day.
Well, some people work there, some people live there and work in
some people are doing business too.
Right.
Thank you. So that is what we are saying. The rich are still getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. And what is the percentage of these rich people in Nigeria? Super rich are less than 2%.
Is it even that high? Because America is worse than that too. America is like what, 1%?
Yeah, but at least there's a middle class in America.
Although it's shrinking. It's a general thing, no. But at least Americans are fighting to have that a little bridged up. And then we cannot even say that so far because Americans give it to them. They help their poor people.
Exactly.
And they help poor people. Nigeria is not helping anybody. The poor people, the young, the old that are supposed to be up, they're not helping them.
If you are a graduate in Nigeria and you don't have any job, your family will cut off everything they're giving to you because they've sent you to school.
Yes,
it's
true.
time for you.
Isn't it appropriate?
Yeah.
Okay, they will cut you off from, the family's economy, and you don't have no job. The government is not giving you anything. Within 5 months or 6 months, if you don't get a job, you will become Okada rider.
All right.
Right.
That's if you have the Okada. Sometimes you don't even have the Okada.
Okay, when you become a commercial Okada rider, delivering for somebody else, you will be desperate.
Right.
Yes. You'll be zigzagging among cars and stuff like that. Chain effect, chain reactions, everything. Accident, everything. A whole lot of amputees they were Okada riders.
Yes.
And when you talk to them, they are educated people.
Yes.
Right.
I've seen somebody who read English history or geography in Nigeria working in a bank.
Right.
And somebody
engineers working in the bank.
And we have we have people who has accounting,
Accounting.
studying
accounting and marketing.
marketing degree,
They have
and
no
all this
job.
economic degree. They don't have no
They don't
job.
have
It is who you know. It
It's
is
who
not
you
what
know.
you know.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, right.
If you don't have somebody somewhere, you cannot get a job in Nigeria.
Yes.
And I know that one of my good friends, good governor friends, said that the situation that happened in Egypt and
Libya?
in Libya cannot happen in Nigeria. Syria cannot happen in Nigeria.
You don't know when
Mr. Aregbesola said, Mr. Aregbesola was quoted to have said that. I disagree with him, and he knows better. Yeah, well, his thinking was that those people do not have democracy. I think he wants to say that at least we have democracy now. Let us build on our own democracy. But this is a quasi-democracy in which election, and he knew how he got in. His election, he won an election, and his election was annulled, or it was given to another person, or some kind of ojoro. They rigged him out. He had to fight for more than 2-3 years to be able to regain his mandate. So if you are saying that is democracy, not everybody will be able to fight like you, Mr. Governor.
What are we teaching our kids?
And he said that the situation in Cairo, in Egypt, and in Libya is not what we have in Nigeria. It's almost the same thing, Mr. Governor. If it's for real that you said that, it is the same thing. We do not have democracy yet.
Actually, Libyan people are enjoying more than Nigerians. What are you talking about? And they still fought because Gaddafi's been there for forever. They were tired of him.
He said,
and he was taking care of his people.
He said we do have democracy, but our democracy is not perfect. But we have a lot of people suffering too. Democracy or no democracy, if people are suffering, they will sack all of you.
Yes.
That's true.
People's power will sack even bad democratic leaders. If people are not enjoying, I know Mr. Aregbesola is one of the few governors that are working their butt off, and I can say that anywhere because I know this man.
I know that too because
I cannot be accused to be an ACN apologist because Mr. Amosu in the U.S.A. has not been doing anything. Mr. Amosu in Ogun State has not been doing anything. Mr. Ajimobi in the U.S.A. has been trying his best. The situation in the U.S.A. is actually chaotic. The man has to beg for Solomon's wisdom to be able to govern a U.S.A. because there's too much wholesale leaders that do not want to leave the throne. Lamadeshino is one of them, and the PDP there is killing him too. Lamadeshino needs to retire from politics and allow Ajimobi to govern or to rule a your state. His time is gone. Let him go and sit down. He shouldn't be putting pressure on the your state government.
What the king of Nigeria, the kings we have in Nigeria, what are they doing?
The traditional rulers.
The traditional rulers are some of the traditional rulers are what they call a jeep, any government in power.
Right.
Some of them, not all of them. Some of them are a substantial part of what they do is canvass for the government of the day. We know that, but few of them are actually very, very good. They can stay the course and tell anybody that, you know what, this is not.
Few of them that are good.
Well, I'll name the Awujale of Ijebu as one of the few good ones. And I will say, to some extent, I will say that the Omonoba Nedo of Benin is one of the few ones that will say the truth. And the Alaafin of Oyo is like that too. Those people are, you cannot break them. Well, the most disappointing one of them is the Shijuade, the Olubushi of Ife, of Shijuade, and of course some of the northern emirs. Some of them speak the truth, and some of them don't speak the truth. So, the Igbos, Obis, and stuff like that. I'm sorry to say,
I haven't heard anything.
They are flat out government apologists. So the same thing happens to the Emir of Kano and other people like that. So anyway, solution, because we cannot just talk about problem and don't provide solution.
Solution.
Let's try solution.
Solution. Because I am a Christian, I would say that we need to just pray.
That is the solution?
To me, because if we say, all right, Jonathan, step aside, who's the next person coming in? When Babangida stepped aside, there was somebody else that came in, at the same, Nigeria was still the same. I have not known Nigeria to be of any change since the era of Idi Agbon and Buhari and Idi Agbon. That was only the era that really moved Nigerian people and tried to make some positive changes. Since then, I haven't really seen any positive change in Nigeria. The leaders have just practically been the same. Greedy, think of themselves and their family only, and forget about the masses. And it's really, really affecting us. Things that needs to be fixed, they're broken down. So I would say we pray maybe God would have mercy upon us, and then we stop being greedy too. Because when the election is going on, we know the people that will do the job. But then they come and they give us money, they give us cell phones, they give us TV, or, you know, whatever they try to dole out. We take that and then we forget about voting for the right person. And then we vote for that 5 cents against the $100 that we probably would have gotten if we voted for the right person. So Nigerian people too, we need to check on ourselves. When there's an election going on, vote for people that you know will do the job. Because I think we have an idea of who will do the job.
I'm usually the first to always go, let's pray, let's talk about, let's take it to God in prayers. And I remember when you first mentioned revolution during one of our tapings, I said no, because we're not good at having peaceful protests in Nigeria. But at this point, I think that it's time for revolution. It's time for, because people know now, the world is watching, and even the governments are paying attention now. Because like I was saying earlier, we never used to speak out. Now we're speaking out. And I was watching, like you mentioned, Sowore Omiyale. I was watching him on YouTube, and one of the things he said is, if I die, I die. There are lots of people now with that kind of mentality, and it's going to take one crazy individual who is ready to do whatever, and he will get people on his side, and we'll get this going. And if we need to set up, mobilize ourselves to get Jonathan impeached, so be it. I don't believe that if a young individual who is educated, who sees what's going on in other parts of the world, who's lived in this part of the world where he has some of the littlest things, the basic amenities here that we enjoy here, her luxuries back home. If you can provide that to Nigerians, I'm pretty sure they will listen to you. I don't think everybody is corrupt. We just have this group of individuals who call themselves leaders who are very corrupt. And because of the way they're managing things, it just kind of becomes like a chain down from the top to the bottom. And that needs to stop. That needs to stop. And if we can get some of those leaders, the so-called leaders that are in the dark, trying to rule from the dark, they were the ones who messed up the country in the first place. If we can get them off our backs, then I think we can get on the right track.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get to the end of this program, but I'll say a few things that all my panelists and my co-hosts are talking about. First of all, Mrs. Husu said that we know those people who can do it, but we will not allow them. When was the last time we voted for a teacher as a governor? We only vote for money bags. People will come and give us hand dryers, fan, machetes to kill each other, buy Gamale 20 for us to farmers, for farmers, and those farmers will put it in their enemies' food and stuff like that. We always pound to them. But if we restrict ourselves to that idea, I think we will be blaming a rape victim for being raped.
We've been doing that for a long time.
We will not. I will not blame the masses, and I'll tell you one of the reasons that I will not blame the masses for. They deliberately put us in that position right, for us to be begging them before we eat.
Right.
So if you miss that, train when they are distributing rice, if you miss it, not only that you will not get good people elected, even if you don't elect them, they will buy their way into
the office because they have the money.
They will buy their way. They will buy the judge. They will buy your voter's card. Yeah. If you don't give it to them, they will make sure that your vote don't count.
Yes.
That boils down to corruption.
It is the same corruption. So what I'm saying is, let us blame the victim. Let us blame the system. A member of the House of Representatives once had me and Mr. Usu in an hotel, and he told us point blank that yes, he was. His take-home salary monthly is about 20 million naira.
And we're not what it was.
And when I asked him, what that money, what legislation are you chunking at? He said, I will not want it. Anytime I go to my home, this is him talking. He said, Tokpe, anytime I go to my my town, I always have about 1 million naira in my pocket, distributing to
Give
people.
away money.
Some people will come to me and say, my son is sick in the hospital, my daughter doesn't have a textbook, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that, he doesn't have this. So I give them money.
How can't you build the hospital?
How?
That's why he's saying blame the system.
How?
If the system
Then the
provides for
person
the
was
masses,
asking me,
masses
the
will
House
be
of Reps
confident.
member was asking me, how am I not worth the money? Am I not spending the money back, giving back the
people.
money to them? Then I said, why don't you just let the system work? What if you have built a very good hospital in that area? Will they come to you and beg for money to take their wards to the hospital? What if you have built a good school? Would people come to beg for money to send their kids to nursery school? Government schools, government primary and high school in Nigeria is in shambles.
Don't even go there.
It's nothing. The universities in Nigeria were chunking.
So-called universities that built the great men in Nigeria. The so-called secondary schools that built the great men in Nigeria. They're all gone.
And where were these great men? Where were the alumni of these universities that are not in government? What are their impact?
They don't care.
They don't care either.
They only care about money.
They don't care.
It is a lot of things, but the solution, I don't know. I cannot think of a pinpoint solution than just for the people to take the battle to the leaders. When you said, I do not want this anymore, this is not going to happen in my backyard. If they don't listen to you, make sure you demonstrate it. If they're not listening to you, act and be ready to look.
Ready to give it your
I'm
all.
not going to ask my son to sacrifice his life for my well-being. I will sacrifice my life for my son's well-being.
There you go.
That is the way it should be in Nigeria. If grandpas are fighting for us, we should be able to fight for our own children.
Right.
I was impressed by Mr. Britwit and Mr. Ben coming out. The likes of Balarap and Musa coming out and talking against this government. They were once in the saddle of things, and some of them were very, very honest. And they cannot just watch. Even Muhammadu Buhari is one of the most honest person we've seen in Nigeria. So, look, we can draw from these people. Shoyinka is still around. We cannot expect Shoyinka to be around forever. The man is 70-something years old, 75 years old now. Who is taking over from them? Ganifa Emi is there. Who is taking over? And that is why I applaud the effort of somebody like Showore. Omoyele Showore.
Yes.
He's the owner of Sahara Reporters.
Great guy.
The guy, I think the guy was in the student government before in Nigeria before he came to this country, and since he has come to this country, has been a thorn in the flesh of corrupt leaders, trying to expose them. If we in the diaspora, how many times have we sent $1 to Omoyele Showore and say, look, we were reading Sahara Reporters. Thank you for what you've been doing.
You do. So we're supporting you.
We can send $1,000 home doing burials and doing weddings and doing birthdays and for our people. We too have forgotten Nigeria. We in the diaspora just think that anytime we just send $500 home is done. But guess what? What happens if we don't have the $500 to send home?
It's happening
Now
already.
we're getting to that point.
It is happening already.
The Nigerians
has lost hours at work.
The Nigerians that we are sending, or our brothers and sisters that we are sending this money to in Nigeria, will they even respect us if we cannot send the money to them anymore?
No, so it already start happening because there's no money around no more. There's no job around no more.
So the love these brothers and sisters have for us is because we can send them something. The little respect they have for us is because we can send them money. What happened if most of us in this country were deported to Nigeria? Should we take the nonsense that the government of Nigeria is chunking out to the people?
That's why we are fighting right now. That's why we won't stop to all this.
Are we really fighting or we're just talking?
We're not just talking. Whatever it takes, we Nigerians in overseas, we are ready to support our people at home.
That is the attitude I want to hear. And the attitude is this. Each and every one of us should contribute, even if it's $1, to people that are doing this job, to people like Showore, people that are letting you know what is happening in Nigeria, people that are trying to force a change. We've seen Mr. Adewusi. We've seen him, the Nigerian Committee
of Rhode Island.
I've always been having problem with the NCRI, getting it out. The Nigerian
Community of Rhode Island.
Okay, the president of Nigerian Community.
I'll tell you one more time, we're going to have issues. Nigerian Community of Rhode Island.
Okay, Adewusi is the president of Nigerian Community of Rhode Island.
There you go.
He has gone to Nigeria on a program that says that let there be light.
Yeah.
Programs like that needs to be encouraged. They were forcing the Nigerian government, or they are forcing attention of the world to see that Nigerian government is not giving their people light.
At this day and age.
2012.
When Kutonu has light.
And we have been present in
right there.
And how long have they,
and
how long have they been promising light?
Okay.
And the sad thing is we celebrate with Ghana uninterrupted electricity and
for
we
10
don't
years,
have,
right?
Yeah.
10 years celebration.
And that was what?
Our president
many
has to go
years.
there,
That was
and we
many
don't have
years
light
back.
in our own country.
Who invited him? It's a shame.
Okay. This is going to be the last question. Boko Haram. Now, it's not going to be a question. We've dealt with the question. What is the solution?
I think, Mr. President, again, I am not trying to pick on Mr. President. I have no problem with Mr. President, but I have a problem with what he is doing. Because when you're somewhere and when you're supposed to be a leader and you're not doing it right, then there's a problem somewhere. I think he needs to start getting out intelligence to do their job. If they're not doing it, fire them and get somebody to do that job. So that we can have some peace in Nigeria, because this is not right. It's the masses that are dying for something that we don't even know why we're dying for. So why should it be us dying for nothing?
So the solution is for him to do his job.
For him to do his job. Get them out. If they're not doing the job, fire them and put people that will do their job there.
Okay. If he is not doing the job, who fires him?
He's eventually going to be fired. When everybody starts standing up for the fact that he's not doing his job, there's going to be a solution somewhere.
I think that they know who Boko Haram are. Okay. I think they know who they are. They've been communicating with them. I think Jonathan needs to, to man up and do what he's supposed to do. Fight for the security of our country, because our security is in a mess, and the entire world is watching, and it's not looking good for those of us in the diaspora. I think he needs to get a committee together. He needs to do whatever he's got to do, because if not, we're gonna come after him. I'm ready. Hey, if there's a group out there that's ready to support me, let's go. Let's.
If you're saying let's people in the diaspora, it's affecting him too as a president when he comes to America.
Let's mobilize ourselves. Let's get our voices out there and call for his impeachment. Is either you do the job or you step out the way.
What is the way out, Mr. Taiwo?
Oh, Mr. President, God is seeing you and other people are seeing you.
Yes.
Eyes are watching you, and personally I'm watching you too. You are not doing nothing over there. I just want you to understand that what you are doing is going to make history.
Thank you very much, Mr. Taiwo. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Mrs. Fusu. Personally, I think the question, this is going to be my exit question. Oh, sorry, exit solution. Boko Haram is not faceless. There is a face to Boko Haram. But what was the genesis of this Boko Haram? What is the genesis of this Boko Haram? It is just the inequality or the high-handedness of the government agency, police, immigration, this and that. The Boko Haram people were able to latch on that. Well, we've passed that stage now. How do you gather your intelligence, Mr. President? Your intelligence gathering is subpar, is below average. Somebody called me and said that, do you know that Boko Haram has been gathering momentum for years? Do you know that Nigerian passports were in the hands of Nigerian people from Niger, Sudanese people from Sudan, and all other people? They have Nigerian passports and they just come to Nigeria. And they've been staying in the north. And they are the causes of this. They populated the so-called Boko Haram. Nigerians in Boko Haram are not nearly half of those people who constitute Boko Haram. They're mostly from neighboring countries. But they've procured Nigerian passports. And this is coming from a very reliable source.
That's what we need security for.
And some of them that were killed were even, or captured, were even from Niger.
In Somalia.
Some were Libyans, remnant of Gaddafi's forces. So what are we talking about? We know the solution. You yourself said member of the police were among Boko Haram, customs among Boko Haram, immigration among Boko Haram. Your government, some of your government people are supporting Boko Haram. You arrested a senator as the bankroll, the person who bankrolled Boko Haram. Okay, we started somewhere. Since all these days, why don't you give us something to work with? Or why don't you give us, what are you doing to stem to me, the governor is, the president is very, very incompetent. The United Nations, the United Nations building was bombed, and we never find Jonathan for the 8 hours. The man was sacked by Boko Haram's threat not to go to his own brother's wedding in his hometown. A president of a country. If the president is scared, what do you expect the masses to do? So the solution, Boko Haram is the solution. Boko Haram, please, you are the solution. Instead of bombing churches, mosques, civilians, women and children, please take the fight to Mr. President. Please take the fight to the governors. Please take the fight to the House of Representatives and the Senate. If they feel what we are feeling, maybe they will do something. Stop picking on us. Stop picking on the masses. The masses are too small for you. We cannot match you. We've heard you. The security people wrong you, not the masses. Pick on people of your size. You cannot fight for God. You are not fighting a religious war. If you are fighting inequalities, if you are fighting the brutality of police, please take the fight to the police, not to the church. Take the fight to Mr. President, not to the masses. Take it to the Senate President, not to the repairers on the road.
Take the problem to the President.
Take it to the ministers.
Not the market women.
Not the market women.
Not the church goers.
You are just compounding the problem of masses if you're killing masses.
We have enough already.
We have enough problem. You know that poor people in Kano, in Maiduguri, in Borno, Bauchi, Niger, and every place, poor people are poor people everywhere. We were bamboozled, to borrow Shore's word. We've been bamboozled just like any other person, or just like any other poor people. The poor people who are at the lower end of the rung already, please don't compound their problem. Take it to the rich. Take it to the rich and affluents that rape the country silly.
Let them cry.
Let them cry too. Let the rich cry too.
And see how it is.
We've been ruled by two presidents that never had issue when they were young. What have we gotten from them? Nothing. Obasanjo did not have a shoe. Then he had more than 1 million shoes to wear. So he does not remember any other person that doesn't have a shoe. Mr. Jonathan said he doesn't have a shoe when he was young. So, and please, the last people I'm going to beg are the religious leaders. Religious leaders, please advise Mr. President when they come to your church to pray. I cannot believe in my wildest imagination that Pastor Adeboye of the Redeemed Church will come out on the street and call a member of his ministry out to protest something that is wrong, that was wrong and is still wrong in the society, and people will not listen. I do not believe any Nigerian president will have his military shoot any tear gas on Pastor Adeboye or the winner's pastor, Oyedepo. They can do that to Bakari. Why? Because Bakari has been a thorn in their flesh and they saw him as a radical pastor. Yeah, they can try that with him. But with the likes of Pastor Adeboye that has always been blessing them, praying for them, or Oyedepo that has always been joining them, that Abiara that has always been the accomplished, or Kumuyi that has always been working with them. They will not do that to these pastors. And we just want these pastors to step up. when they are killing Christians, the world is not, even, I don't think the Bible or those people who read Bible in my age will turn another cheek when you slap them. They will slap you back. And before Christians start slapping back for church bombing in the north, please do something. We don't want a religious war. You are the kind of person that the president will listen to. You are the kind of person that can look the president in the eye and say, Mr. President, we need to fix this thing. Do whatever you want to, you can do. Please, that is just the solution, because you are the few people the president respects. Pastor Adeboye, Pastor Oyedepo, Pastor Kumuyi, and the rest of the religious imams. Imam, Alhajis. Please do whatever you want to do to stabilize the country. Or if we have to disintegrate, please let us do it peacefully. And that is just going to be my own solution. I know we're moving towards the brink of the solution. Nobody really wants Nigeria to disintegrate.
No. It's not the right.
But if that is going to be the best option or the solution, then let it be.
Peacefully.
Let's just go our separate ways peacefully without much killing.
There you have it.
We've come to the end of the program, ladies and gentlemen, and from me to Miss
Rosemary Osho,
Mr.
Taiwo Shonake,
and Mrs. We are saying good night and God bless.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.